Hey guys, Radical Reggie here, and today we're going to do a review on a shooter, a space shooter, called Space Debris for the PS1. Now, is this game worth doing a review on? Let's find out. So Space Debris was created by a company called Rage Software, and the only game that I know they're known for in America is actually a game called Gunmetal for the Xbox. The game came out sometime in 2000. I'm not really sure on the exact date, but one feature I really like in this game, and it has a high score system, which is pretty awesome. I mean, you definitely don't see that in today's games. But right off the bat, though, you guys would pretty much notice that Space Debris is pretty much what you would call a Star Fox clone. And that's not a bad thing. You know, I actually love Star Fox, so this game was right up my alley. So in saying that, this game is a rail/scrolling shooter. Now, for those of you who are into these type of games, the action starts off pretty fierce in the beginning. I mean, you're gonna get shot at by everything. You constantly need to move around a lot in the beginning. I mean, not that you would stay still on this type of game, but it's just that, you know, it kind of throws a lot at you at once. So say that this was your first type of game. This was the first type of game you got into that was a rail shooter. You would possibly be overwhelmed. The graphics are actually pretty good for its time, though. I mean, you could pretty much see everything on the screen. Everything looks pretty sharp, you know, even by today's standards. I'll just say the game was still pretty easy on the eyes, but I have to warn people, if you actually purchase this game, you need a PAL television to play it on, or else it won't display properly. Going back to some of the gameplay, though, the game does start out pretty hard, like I was saying earlier, so novice players might want to play on easy. Maybe some experienced players might want to just play on normal. The game does have an auto fire button, so you don't have to keep tapping down the firing button. You can just hold it down and you can fire your weapons like that, which is what I prefer myself. I mean, I'm not trying to like bang my fingers just trying to shoot everything, because there's so much coming at you. You're gonna have sore fingers trying to play it the old school way. So during the game, as you take damage, you will get energy. You'll get energy bars. Well, not really bars. I would say they're like circular type blue streams, and if you go into those, you'll get your energy back. But you really have to keep your eye out for them, because you will miss them because there's so much action going on. So another feature that I really like in this game is that you constantly feel like the characters have personality, like they're talking with each other about what's going on, which is cool. Kind of somewhat in the same way Star Fox does. So that kind of makes things tense. The music is kind of like that what you would call a space opera type. Very upbeat, dramatic at some points. You know, it really depends on the situation you're in. I didn't notice anything bad about it. You know, it was pretty good for what I remember of it. The controls in the game really feel good. I mean, everything's pretty easy to use. I mean, you got your control pad that you could use, and then also you can use the analog sticks, so that's pretty cool as well. I mean, I'm still not really used to using the analog sticks myself, but you know, just knowing that feature is there is really good for this type of game. Upgrades you could get in this game, you get twin lasers that I've noticed. I haven't got anything higher than that, but a feature I noticed is that this game, if you take too much damage, they'll actually downgrade your weapons. So you have to be really careful of that, because you don't want one laser fighting these enemies. I mean, you need at least a dual laser. Also, you get in this game, you get a smart bomb, which kind of helps clear out, I wouldn't say the whole screen, but it helps with certain sections of it. So it's not going to be one of those things that clears out the whole screen for you. No, that's too easy for us. They had to make it a little bit harder. The bottom right of the screen tells you how many smart bombs you have, and the bottom left actually tells you how many lives you have. Left shows your score, and the top right shows your weapons, what your weapons is at, so they'll show you all the upgrades you get. I'm guessing the top part is the best weapon, but I haven't got that yet. Now, there is a thrust bar in the game. It's at the bottom right under the smart bombs, but unfortunately I couldn't get the resolution right for this video, so it's hard to see it, but I'm just going to tell you about it. So thrust is just like braking or just going faster to dodge enemy attacks. And also on the bottom left of the lives bar is the energy bar, and that shows you how much energy you gain. If you run out of energy, I guess that's how the downgrades happen as well, taking too much damage. But each time you destroy an enemy, you're pretty much rewarded with an upgrade. When I say upgrade, I'm saying like more energy for the energy bar. So if you keep taking down enemies without taking too much damage yourself, you'll pretty much get an upgrade every time. When it reaches a certain level, you'll get a new weapon. You know, Space Debris is definitely one of those games that you have to get good at. You know, it won't hold your hand, and I had a hard time playing it at first. You know, on this playthrough that you guys are seeing, I I was actually doing really good at, so I was happy with that. But the first time I tried to capture footage for this game and play it, oh man, I couldn't get past the first like a minute of the game. It was just so much stuff coming at me. I also want to mention this game uses the memory card, but it takes up 15 blocks. So just be aware of that. You know, that's a lot for a rail shooter type game, but you know, I guess it is what it is. Boss fights, as you can see, probably look somewhat similar to another game that I talked about earlier. So, like I said, that's not a bad thing. The boss fights are pretty cool. But if you played that other game I was talking about, they'll kind of like, I would say, feel pretty familiar. I do want to mention that the levels in this game are kind of long, so just be aware of that. I mean, the first level took around 7 minutes to complete, and you know, 7 minutes of like non-stop action could be pretty crazy. If you lose towards the end of the level, it'll start you halfway back through the level, so just be aware of that, because that could be pretty annoying. So now we look at the all range mode level, which is pretty cool. This is the level where you can pretty much fly anywhere you want to go. I would call this level like the dogfight type level. You're constantly fighting spaceships that are trying to take over a base you're trying to protect. You need to defend it before it's destroyed. So you have your map in the middle. It tells you where enemies are coming from, what the main enemy is, where you're at on the map. You know, and I have to say, I really enjoyed these levels. I didn't really care for them in the Star Fox game when they did it. You know, I wasn't really a fan of them. But in this game, you know, it actually started to like them a little bit. I mean, these levels aren't going to win any awards, but they're pretty cool and exciting, and I think everybody will really enjoy them. You do have the quick turnaround move, which I'm pretty sure you guys saw. It looks pretty similar to another game. Sometimes if you're not paying attention to the map, and you go off the map, the game will redirect you back into the middle of action, so you'll always know where you're at, or just where you need to go in general. All in all, you know, Space Debris is a really fun game. I had a good time with it. You know, I really feel like it's Star Fox on the PlayStation, which is, it's like I said, is a good thing for me. But before we close this out, I'm sorry I was playing on my PlayStation and it's kind of dying on me, so the music might be skipping a little bit, but that's just because of my PlayStation. Alright guys, so that's my review on Space Debris. It's pretty much hard not to sum this game up as a Star Fox on the PlayStation, but you know, that's a good thing, I would say. You know what I mean? Like, this game is pretty sick. Now, the game only came out in PAL territory, so before everybody starts sending me where I bought it from, you gotta go to eBay or Amazon possibly. Those are only people who are selling it. So and also just be aware that the game, you need to import it. You either need a modded PlayStation to play this or a PAL PlayStation to play this game. So, and also a PAL television. So just be aware of that. So anyway guys, that's gonna do it for this review, and I will see you guys next time.